guys, mathematicians. Bam! That's me. Guys, listen, this week is going to be a bit different, but I want to give you a couple of things to do at home all week long if you're not doing a math lesson, or if you just like when I want to do something extra for math. These are things you can do. Let's look right away at this board. It's called the survey. We did a couple of surveys before we went home for this long break. And remember, a survey is something where you're just like, what would you like to know? I wonder. That's all you're doing is you're asking a question. So I asked a question to my family. I said, what pet would you like? That was my first thing. I asked that question. I asked Uncle Tommy, I called up Uncle Freddie, I called my mom, I called my dad. I asked everybody that lived in my house with me. I even Facebooked a couple of friends this question, like, what pet would you like? And I gave them only 4 choices. I gave them a dog, a snake, a spider, and a cat. And when I collected all of my data after asking that question, this is the data I got. So I didn't go to their house because I was being very safe and careful. But I did make some phone calls, have some conversations. I collected some data. I would then take that data and I would graph it. I decided that if I was going to graph my data, I was going to graph it vertical. Yeah, I could have done it horizontal, but I was choosing vertical. So then I would look at that dog and I'd be like, there's 7 people that like dog. And I would go 1 for dog, right? Then I would go 2, 3, oh Lord, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I would keep doing that then for my snake, my spider, and my cat. I could do a survey this week and decide, what did I learn from that? Well, I'm going to tell you, once I get my data graphed, I could tell you something that I learned. Maybe you want to do that this week. Friends, we also know this week that if you want to, find an array. Oh yeah, all day, find an array. Look for arrays that you see every day. Challenge yourself. Do I know the multiplication statement? Do I know the addition statement? When you can say the multiplication both ways and know the addition both ways, that is deep math. That is you going, bam, I understand groups, because that is what multiplication is. Friends, look for arrays. Challenge yourself. See if that would be fun to do. Send me pictures. I'd love to see it. Do a little bit of doubles bump. What's up with that? That's right. I can count by 2s all the way up to 20. I can make this board at home. I don't need Mrs. Seitz to send it to me. No, I don't. So make up a doubles board. Have some fun with somebody at home. You'd be like, but Mrs. Seitz, what do I use? I went to the dollar store. I got 2 decks of cards for $1. $1. Ran in, got this. And boys and girls, 2 decks of cards. I had some at home, but I wanted to see, is it easy for me to get them at the dollar store? Yes, they are. So I grabbed them at the dollar store. I took the red stack, just to give you an example, and I took out all the face cards. I took the Joker, the King, the Queen, the Jack. I took them out. I took the face cards out. And I kept the ace because that stands for 1. And of course I went through all the numbers. I even kept the 10 because if I use the 10, I can double a 10 and I would get 20. So I could use this wonderful deck of cards at home to play doubles bump. I could also simply get a bunch of sheets of paper, cut them up into squares, put numbers 1 through 10, and make my own deck of cards. I could do that too. So friends, you could do your doubles bump. The other thing I found, friends, were these groovy dice. I'm like really excited. They were $1. So I put some random numbers on them, 2-digit numbers, And I thought I could play this game with Uncle Tommy when he's like, not filming me. And I could like roll the orange. I got 55. And then I roll the 56. And so then Mrs. Seitz has got 55 and 56. And I'm going to add my total. And then Uncle Tommy is going to roll his. And he got a 56. And he got a 22, because I just put any double digit on there. And then we're going to add them up, and we could see who's got the greatest total, winner. Who's got the least amount, maybe that's the winner. But we could have fun with that. These were $1 at the dollar store, so I'm like going, I could have fun all day with this. I just put random 2-digit numbers on there. I could have fun with this. I could do 1-digit numbers, 2-digit numbers. So that was something I found for you. Friends, let's also think about what else is around the house. Mrs. Seitz likes jelly beans. I know. Believe it or not, I like sweet stuff like licorice and stuff. So I had a couple of jelly beans, so I put them in a bag. And I went to Sam. Sam lives with me right now because of this situation. And I said, Sam, how many jelly beans are in there? Yeah. I made him do an estimate. Do you remember estimating? Have somebody do that with you. Have them put something in a bag and say, have me estimate. Let me make a good guess. So Sam made a good guess on this bag. He did pretty good. And then I said, Sam, why don't we graph it? So I went out and got my whiteboard. I looked at the white jelly beans, yellow, the blue ones, and the pink ones. Now I'm going to make my rows for how many are pink, how many are yellow, how many are blue. I can graph this. I can make an estimate, and then I can graph my data. Friends, these are simple activities I could do at home. Maybe you're like, well, Miss Seitz, I don't have jelly beans. No problem. Say, Mom, do you got some change? I'm not going to ask you to guess or to estimate how much money's in the bag. I'd say, why don't you guesstimate, estimate how many coins are in this bag. And then, friends, I can take that information and I can graph it. I could have fun graphing how many pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and take it that extra mile and add that money up. Could go that extra mile. I was standing in line picking up some of my groceries for my family, saw a bag of M&Ms. I'm thinking, this would be fun to estimate. This would be fun to then graph. Simple things, friends, that you could be doing at home. Last, get out your deck of cards, take out your dice. Use them for 3-digit addition or making 3-digit numbers or challenging somebody to war. If I had 3 dice, I roll my 3 dice. I might look at my 3 dice and decide, what could I do to make this the biggest number? I've got 3, 3, 3. What's the luck of me getting 3 3s? Friends, I would then take my total that I'm getting from those dice. I could take those 3 numbers, make them any way I want. In this case, I have to put them all the same because they're the same numbers. I roll again. I have a 4, a 2, and a 6. I'm going to put them down as a 4, a 2, and a 6. I'm going to add my numbers up. Maybe it's just a good exercise of adding up 3-digit numbers. Make it into a game. Have somebody roll their dice with you. You have your 2 numbers. They have their 2 numbers. Who's got the greatest total? Who has the least amount? Maybe you want to work it that way. If you don't have dice, let's go back to our deck of cards. Same thing. Take out 3 cards. Make a 3-digit number. Maybe you take 3. Your friend takes 3. And the challenge is, make the greatest 3-digit number. Who's got the greatest total? maybe instead you're like, who's got the least amount? So if I'm looking at my number, I know I'm going to want to have it 579. That's the least. My friend might want to do and try to beat me. You can see that, can't you? Yeah. They're going to go 468. They would win. Take all the cards, start all over again. Lots of things you can do at home, friends. During this week, I want you to play some math games. I want you to enjoy just math that's all around you. Think of something that you made up at home. Tell me about it. Take a picture of it. I'd love to see it. Otherwise, I want you to know this week, friends, your job is to enjoy math that's right in front of you. I love you. You are a mathematician. Yeah, that is you. See you later. Bam.